Hi, it's February the 19th, 2020, and today is a really magical day in terms of the Mayan calendar. We're in white magnetic wind for 13 days, and so this is all about refinement of the previous 13 days, which was red magnetic moon. And we're in the Green Castle. And just to show you where we are, we're here. So as you can see, because it's a black square, it's a portal day, which means it's a day of human evolution. And today is really key to embodying spirit. So in this Green Castle, we begin with Red Moon, which is the gateway code. It's the 9th Mayan sign, and so basically it's the Buddha process. The first 8 days are around an integration process for the human being, and then by the time we get to the 9th sign, we go through a gateway. So in numerology, day 9s are gateways. If you are a solar in terms of the Mayan, then you are also a gateway sign. So just to go through that. So the first Mayan sign is Red Dragon and is magnetic. So it's what the Great Mother is bringing us for our conscious evolution. The second Mayan sign, which is today, is White Wind, which is a new learning on the planet. It's a lunar. It means basically anything to do with the moon is about understanding our emotional nature, and now really coming into emotional maturity at this time on the planet. We're in the emotional evolution and really learning how to work with that energy so that we can let go of our human being story and we can embody our spirit. The third Mayan sign is Blue Night, and so co-creating with these two, what the Great Mother is bringing us so we can embody spirit, we come into conscious awareness and conscious process, which is being the conscious dreamer and the human being who is ready to do the inner work and get clear in order to follow their heart and to align with what we're here to do at this time, which is to bring this new dream into being through each one of us doing this process. The fourth Mayan sign is Yellow Seed, which is a structure code. So in any process on day 4, that's a structure code. And Yellow Seed is all about mastery, of understanding our coping mechanisms that our ego has created, releasing said coping mechanisms so we can embody the starseed that we really are and be free of the conditioned mindset that we have been born into in whatever culture that is, so we can be free. So more about that later. The fifth Mayan sign is Red Serpent, the overtone layer. So again, this, once we come into day 5, this is about mastery. It's about squaring the circle in terms of if you use a magical framework. And so it's working with understanding this over and over, more and more and more, and then going into the mastery of it. And the mastery of this is about relationship. We are shown how we are mastering ourselves, our personality constructs, to allow ourselves to be in harmonious relationship. So in balance with our masculine and feminine within, having healed all our ancestral patterned wounds and becoming free of them. So we get free of the constraints. The sixth Mayan sign is White World Bridger, And this is about coming into rhythm of letting go of the old world so we can be free of them. The 7th sign is the mystical sign, so the top of the pyramid. It's blue hand and learning how to shape our destiny by using healing framework tools. We are amazing beings and we're remembering that now. So letting go of any codependent patterns where other people are responsible for our state of being. We're learning how to use key frameworks now to shape our destiny and allow our amazing dream to unfold. Number 8 is yellow star, being the star that we really are, and learning more and more about our cosmic codes, seeing the patterns so that we can come into harmony. And then we go into the gateway, which is red moon. So being the beacon of light, this is a planetary energy. So on the 26th of July every year, we go into a different planetary energy. And we have just started the 13-year cycle of White Wizard, which is one of the group of planetary energies. We've completed a cycle of 13 years with Red Moon. That ended last July. So we're now refining that. So red is about awakening, white is about refining, blue is about transformation, and yellow is about manifestation. Okay, so the gateway point is red moon, and we're now in that here in the red castle. So we're seeing how we're embodying authenticity, how we're being the beacon of light. Not the easiest thing to do a lot of the time, because we often get shot as a messenger if we're carrying a code of truth and authenticity. Then people who are still stuck in denial, who are still doing old patterns and old coding, will often shoot us as the messenger. So just very key to remember that and come into mastery around it. And using the Toltec framework, this really is about being impeccable as a human being. So regardless of what other people are doing, there's no tit for tat or getting revenge or any of that nonsense. This is about being an impeccable being and aligning with truth. So this is a book about that I'm just revisiting. So I'm having a huge clear out of many, many books that I've had for a very long time. And this is a fantastic book if you're into the series of Carlos Castaneda, which is really key to my work around freeing ourselves from the conditioned mindset and using recapitulation. I use emotional freedom technique and I highly recommend it. If you haven't checked it out yet, do, because it's wow. Okay, so this book really talks about how to journey through life using the Toltec framework. Also, it's great if you're into Carlos Castaneda books because it's like a summary of all of them and it pinpoints key workable tools. So it gives you power tools that you can use. If you want to know more about any of this, please do get in touch with me. Check out resources on my website, which is flowwithjo.com. One of the key books of the series is The Fire Within. Google that. There is a PDF out there if you want to explore it more. It does have very challenging frameworks in there, I have to say, for the conditioned mindset. And it's a very specialist subject, and it does take a lot of work to do this path. This is the path of the warrior of the heart. And this is really key to this Wavespell too. It's so fundamental that we do the work, we shift the energy. Energy therapies are now coming online massively on the planet and are the key now to setting ourselves free, literally from the old stories. So in these very powerful wave spells now, we have gone into the into the green castle, and we've gone into Pisces Sun today. We have waning moon at the moment in Capricorn energy, and we've just gone into Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Now, this is a powerful 3-week journey of going back over old ground around what happens to you specifically in red moon as well, the 13-day cycle of red moon, because the planet for red moon is Mercury. So wherever Mercury is in your chart is key, wherever Pisces is in your chart is key. And this is really time to go inside and work actively with your emotional body and really get into how you're feeling, because how we are feeling is the pain body. And in terms of EFT, in terms of understanding the emotional mind, this is the fight, flight, or freeze part of us that records emotional trauma. We've all got emotional trauma. It doesn't have to be a big event. This is just where we have put meaning on something that has happened for us and it still hurts. And we hold that energy in our body as well. So often this can be activated by having body work done as well. Feeling safe to be in your body, feeling safe to feel the feelings. This is what Pisces is all about. It's about sensitivity, being able to stay in the body rather than trying to get out of it and avoid these strong feelings. And we're so well versed at it because we've done it for thousands of years in order to survive. But now to go beyond survival, we have to really heal all of the stuff that's coming up now. And so over the past few days, I've been sorting out my loft. I've been going through all my old stuff with my children, all their pictures, all the things that I've kept, and also watching old videos. And if you have old videos and you haven't watched them for a while, it's a great way to do therapy. And you can use emotional freedom technique as you're going through these literally time traveling processes, because you can literally watch something. And I wasn't prepared for just how much information I was going to get through watching these. I've not watched them for at least 10 years. So there's amazing times of joy, there's amazing revelations about how I was back then, how other people were, how we were relating to each other. There's so much magic in there. And so this is really key, to go back to the Carlos Castaneda framework. On the Toltec path, it just talks about recapitulation process. It's also in the book by Taisha Abelard, which is called The Sorcerer's Crossing. Recapitulation is about basically going over your old story. And so really going into it and releasing any energy that you're holding there that's keeping you literally stuck in the past. It's taking a lot of energy to hold that as well for your body and your psyche, your spirit. And whilst it's still running that program, it's like the hard drive is full. It's like very, very difficult to hold more energy. The older that you get, your resources in your energy body get slower and slower, And this impacts on your physical health as well. It impacts on your body, your fascia, where your chi is, and so your energy, you know, so, and the heart especially, you know, this is so key for the heart. So it's very important to do this work and to learn how to do it. And emotional freedom technique, again, is just life changing. You know, I've been doing it now for 13 years and it has changed my life. And I do it every day. Moon in Capricorn, we've got lots of planets in Capricorn. We've got Mars in Capricorn at the moment. Mars went into Capricorn at the same time as the retrograde started. So we've got lots of things going on around being disciplined and doing this work. And of course, we're in Moon 8 now as well, day 13 today. I'm just looking at my notes to try and keep focus because this Mercury in Pisces is very tricky for me. I've got Pisces in my first house. I've got Chiron in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces. And white wind for me is in 1996 when I was age 31. I'd just become a mum of my son who also has Saturn and Chiron in Pisces. So again, the more you know about your charts, the more that you can look at your family chart as well and see how why you've come together at this time, so you can work out these things, understand these things, understand the patterns and the codes. And back then, Uranus was in Aquarius. Uranus is a planet for white wind. It's the light bringer. And how to bring light is to work with Saturn, wherever Saturn is in your chart. Use your Chiron placing, that's the bridge, that's a rainbow bridge, the healing. And work with your Uranus, which is literally bringing light into the Saturnian codes and patterns so that we can be free of doing the same old. It really is fundamental now to know what our patterns are, what our ancestral wounding is, and how we are able to be free of doing anything that doesn't serve us or human beings in general, the planet right now. So another way to work with this energy as well as doing your own cycle is to see what the planetary cycle was at that time. So my birthday is the 18th of August, and so if I go back to the 26th of July, which is when the 13-year cycles begin, where the yearly cycle begins, it was in blue self-existing storm. So it was a year of transformation on the planet in 1996. And again, I've listed a lot of these planetary cycles on my blog. So if you want to check them out, just go and look on there. There's lots of different spirals that give the code. So as I came into my 13-year cycle of white wind, of spirit, embodiment, it was really key for me that on the planet it was blue self-existing storm. And I'm a blue solar hand. My 13-day Wavespell process that I am a part of is blue storm. It's all about emotional healing, coming into our center. And again, this is really key at this time because I was doing my Saturn return just before this. Again, we've got Uranus in Aquarius at that time in 1996. So my Uranus is in Virgo, and my Pluto is also in Virgo, and it is for my generation. So again, it's just looking at all these patterns and all these codes and then really starting to work with them. And like I say, working with the family constellation, the family patterning, so you can see how your children working with your code, how you're working with your parents' code, your siblings, and so on and so on. And you can retrace these back hundreds of years if you do your family tree, and then you can go deeper on a deeper level and start mapping all your code as well. And it's amazing how this brings conscious awareness. In terms of another pattern that we're in, we started the 20-day pattern yesterday, which, again, to go back to the chart, is there. And so red cosmic dragon. So basically we've completed what the Great Mother is bringing us in terms of this particular spiral, which began on the 13th of July last year, which is in Cancer. So again, it's around all our home, our mothering framework. And so everything that we've been doing, we've got it now. We've got all the alchemical prima materia there in our own life. And so it's what is seeking to shift at this point now for us, so that we can truly be in the healed heart space and having matured our ego by listening to our inner child. And so this particular 20-day pattern that we're on day 2 of is running down to the bottom here, which is, will be coming to yellow rhythmic sun, so coming into the rhythm of the shadow work, healing the shadow to embody more light. And it's the 12th 20-day process. So we're now seeing how crystal clear we are. So again, to go back to what the crystal clear code is, it's about understanding your Saturn. That's the code that you made up until around the age of 30, and that you're constantly going to be working with, going round and round, over and over again, to become a master of it, understanding it, and rewiring it with Uranus using Chiron. And of course, on the planet, we're in Chiron in Aries at the moment, and that's going to be around for, I think it's 7 years, so quite a long time, to become a master of who we are in terms of ourself, our personality, and what we're seeking to integrate. So we've only got one more 20-day cycle to go after this, and then we'll be starting a new cycle on the 30th of March, which is in Aries. So it's just the magic of seeing it all coming together now, with Chiron in Aries. We've got Lilith in Aries now as well, which is very, very powerful. We've got a lot of Eris energy as well, which again is about the discontented fairy. This is what it's all about. It's about healing the shadow. It's about letting go of what meaning we've put onto things. And again, if you start to use tapping or some sort of recapitulation process about your own personal I am code, who am I? Who do I want to be? It's just coming into acceptance. We can't change what has happened, but we can change how we feel about it. So this is core, this is fundamental to all of these amazing works. And Christ consciousness, which is what Pisces is all about. It's about coming into really good boundaries and letting go of any addictions, so that we can be clear and free and able to be who we really are. It's remembering who we really are rather than who we've been conditioned to believe we are in terms of a world conditioning mindset mem structure that has been imposed on society and that we have embodied in our DNA as well on a cellular level. So in terms of the cards today that I got, the Mayan Oracle is the blue monkey card, which is the center of the Zolkin, and the divine child. So again, it's just always going back to that child. And blue monkey is the 11th Mayan sign, which is again key, dissonance, what to let go of, so the divine child within us can become transparent, can become mature, and takes full responsibility for creating healing for ourselves. It's no good being stuck in victim mode and blaming other people, because that is so disempowering and it doesn't create change for the individual, because it means we're putting our power outside of ourselves if we're blaming somebody else. That doesn't excuse abusive behavior either. That's a totally separate thing, but it's just realizing that the other person can't change anything for us. We're the only one who can change how we feel about it. So we have to do the work, we have to heal, and we have to move on every level. The other card that I got today, the Goddess card, beautiful, all about compassion. And again, a lot of people can't feel empathy for others because they don't feel it for themselves. This is very key to the narcissistic pattern as well. When a person hasn't individuated, hasn't healed, then there's a lot of focus on just on the I, rather than being in the shoes of the other person. And so again, this is so key as a stage of evolution. The more that we focus on I and healing I and creating a personality that is in alignment with truth, then the more that we can have compassion for others and their journey, and also make different choices about trying to rescue or trying to do codependent power tripping with other people on any level. This energy now about the goddess returning and return to balance of the sacred feminine is not about rescuing anybody else. It's not about feeling powerful through, doing healing modalities where that's out of balance either. Otherwise it's just more of the same. This is about helping other people to learn tools to help themselves, and not about doing it for them, because that is so disempowering. This 13-year cycle of White Wizard, the Goddess, Ixchel, is about letting the magic flow through us, removing all the obstacles, removing the dissonance framework, so we can be emotionally free and clear and have our energy flow. And learning how to do that for ourselves. And yes, of course, we can get help with other people as and when we need that extra support of people who have done a lot of training that we may not have the skills yet. But ultimately, this shift that is happening is around each person knowing their own answers. And we all do on a deeper level. We all have that connection. It's just often we've forgotten how to do it. The other card that I got today from Thoth is the Queen of Discs. So again, this energy, as you can see, you've got the little goat there, and she's got her horns. And I always use the Eli tarot this. He's got amazing insights. So on one level, you know, this is Demeter, this is going back to Virgo time, it's going back to the opposite of Pisces, because the next full moon that we'll have coming up will be in Virgo. We've just had a full moon in Leo, and now we're waiting for the new moon in Pisces, which again is at 4 degrees, and that's going to be coming up on Sunday. So again, at the moment we are in waning energy in Capricorn at the moment. So this Queen of Earth, again, this is about really embodiment. It's about manifestation, and it's about the structure of sovereignty, where we feel earthed, where we feel totally grounded and knowing, you know, knowing what we know from a place of wisdom and a place of truth. So her astrological placement is the last decan of Sagittarius and the first 2 decans of Capricorn, which again, the moon in Capricorn today, we've got Mars in Capricorn, and we've got Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, and this will change at the spring equinox, where we've got Saturn going into Aquarius. So I'm just going to read you the moon, Capricorn, 15 degrees, and this is very connected to a friend of mine. A woman wearing a necklace of skulls, feminine power of the deepest kind, ancient, impressive and formidable, standing for the dark goddess, authoritative, proud, knowledgeable, can be attracted to pouring on the power and becoming personally identified with dominant behaviours. Lack of compassion, very little forgiveness, not generous spirited, imperious, demanding and not to be denied. If sparked by wakeful seeing, redemptive and cauterizingly renewing, but if captured by old pictures, autocratic, ideological and retaliatory, the perfect soul gift for those with pure intention, otherwise a scourge. So, pure intention, this is about having integrity. We're in this moon of integrity now. And so we're integrating everything that was initiated back in August at the start of the 30 moon cycle. So from the 26th of July till the 22nd of August in Leo. And if you're a Leo, this is your 13 moon, an initiator of the warrior of the heart, of healing the psyche, emotional integrity, emotional freedom, and coming into that real heart space of sovereignty. So back to the Queen of Discs, and also back to, again, another archetype, which is Sopdet or Sothis, which is connected to the Sirius star. And so again, if you Google this, Sopdet, S-O-P-D-E-T, all of this goddess energy, this is again about, literally means the triangle, the sharp one, which means in terms of the Star of David, it's the triangle that's pointing upwards. So it's coming up from the earth. So we've got the energy coming down from spirit and coming into the grail, that is the human being who can hold this light. Very connected to Isis. You can see all these frameworks just rolling out in all these different ways, different languages, different formats. And for thousands of years, this knowledge, this awareness, and in particular with the Egyptian frameworks, it is about that golden era. It's about so much more than is being told at the moment, and remembering that we can tap into this by connecting to our source, by connecting to our spirit, and by doing this inner work. The inner work is the process, the recapitulation is the process that allows us to embody our wise higher self. If we do not do this inner work, then we get stuck in the story and we have to keep reliving it, because the whole point of being here is to get the answers, is to go beyond the old story, to rewrite the story. And so learning how to do that process energetically is so key to coming into a place of compassion and love. It's very hard to be in a place of acceptance and compassion and peace when we have an old story running underneath, isn't it? It's often just lip service that people are saying. It's often something else. It isn't truth. It isn't a true sense of being in peace for oneself. And it is remembering that that has to be the key focus. Peace begins with me. So this 13-day cycle is what's coming to light for each one of us around our spiritual journey. What has happened in the last 13-day cycle that is showing us where we need to expand our authenticity, where we need to listen to our higher self, where we need to trust our gut as well, and not be coerced by our ego into doing something that does not serve us, does not honor us, does not have integrity. The 28 days of resonant moon, we were showing what was resonating with that. And so it's really important now to really start coming into this place of truth for ourselves more and more, and having the courage to be brave, to go for it. Because if you don't start doing this today, aligning with what is healthy and truthful, and moving away from anything that is not that is harmful for the human being, then something in us just cannot expand and experience inspiration and joy. It's the time for it now. It is the season for purification with Pisces. Absolutely is that time for going through the gateway. We're in the, traditionally in the 12th house, hidden power, taking our power back, getting really good boundaries. Is there anything else that I need to say that I've written in my notes? White wind is kin number 222. So a very amazing number of balance, number 6, bringing ourselves into balance. So basically, you've done it, this 260-day round. We've got there. We're still alive. We're on the planet. You've got your red cosmic dragon shift yesterday, and now it's okay. So what am I seeking to align to? What am I refining? What's coming to light? What is the new learning that I have that I'm ready to purify myself with, to get clear, to get clean, to come into being a clear sign? And if you want any more information about your Mayan sign or any of these processes, please do get in touch with me. Check me out on my blog, flowwithjo.com, and I hope you have an amazing 20-day cycle of seeing where you're aligning with the Great Mother and working on what needs to align by letting go of anything getting in the way of your beautiful self. You're here, we're here to be the gift that we truly are, the most amazing, amazing gift. And remembering that, coming into full acceptance of self, remembering that we've had to do this story in order to learn all about it, become an expert on it, and now it's taken it to the next level. The next solar wheel is going to start at the time of the spring equinox on the 21st of March. So get ready for that energy to really soar now. Preparation, the 12th house. That's where we're at. Lots of love and see you soon.